I wanted to talk about the concept of Advaita and how it relates to what is currently interpreted as non-duality in the spiritual teachings. Um, I'm going to read something that I downloaded from a Luciferian website the other day, and I thought it was kind of interesting, and it relates to what is being taught. It says, Luciferians do not accept the dualistic concept of good and evil. We hold the opinion that, like in nature, darkness empowers light and light establishes growth and renewal. That could be taken out of pretty much any current teaching of non-duality. Um, I suspect that most people that study one philosophy or metaphysics of whatever spiritual dialect that you're studying, for the most part, most do not have the time in their life because it's not a full-time occupation. And so they focus on one single um, concept. And the fact is, the Luciferians and the spiritual teachings that the gurus teach in Sanghas and that sort of thing, the pretty much New Age type stuff, is the same thing as what is taught in the Luciferian groups. It's almost identical. Um, the Luciferians focus upon education, self-learning, transcending ignorance, all of these things that is taught in the non-duality teachings. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking one over the other. I'm just laying it out the way it truly is. And I my personal focus is not based upon any religion or any faith. Yes, I started out with particular faiths, and I spent a lot of time in different religions. Um, but I got out of them all eventually, and I don't regret 1 minute of my time in them. But you have to, if you are serious about understanding what you are personally, um, you're, there's a good likelihood if you really want to become one with God, just not likelihood, you're just simply not going to find it in any teaching anywhere on the planet Earth. Uh, Not even from me, even though I'm on the right path. You can you can listen to me, but you're going to have to go get it yourself. Just like if I were teaching you about the taste of lemons, eventually you'd have to go eat one yourself to understand what I'm talking about. And so that's what I'm saying. Um, there's another concept that is um, widely misunderstood. A lot of times they teach that you don't have to do anything. You're already that, and that um, nothing needs to be done. Well, there's a truth to that, but there's also a uh, misunderstanding to that. So let me give you I just created this funky idea right now. So seeds are on the ground or they get under the ground, and we don't know what they are. So we water them and we plant them. I mean, Jesus talked about this with the wheat and the tares, but we don't know what they are. And then they start growing and everything starts off small. Now let's jump to the end of the story just so that you know what we're talking about. An acorn is growing alongside dandelions. it has nothing else to look at except dandelions, because the nearest oak tree might be a couple blocks away. So it only has to relate to dandelions and other plants. So it thinks it's a dandelion. And so it does everything in its power to do what dandelions do. It learns, it struggles, it strives, it really, but after a while it starts getting bigger than all the dandelions. And it has nothing to relate to around it eventually, because now it's 6 feet tall and it looks around and there's nothing like it. And in some cases, the oak trees will commit suicide. They go crazy because they don't know where to go for the truth, because everyone is teaching them something that they cannot relate to. Okay, if that is you and you can relate to what I'm teaching, you are an indeed rare individual. So that sort of thing takes place. And now, the issue with there's nothing to do. Of course there's nothing to do. You're going to turn into an oak tree regardless of what you think, regardless of what you do to become a dandelion. You're going to end up being an oak tree regardless. But from the perspective of the dandelion, it's in the same boat. Maybe it thinks it's something else. Everything is going to be what it is, no matter what you do, no matter what anybody else does. People can treat the acorn like a dandelion and give it dandelion food, but it's still going to turn out to be an oak tree. So my point being is, Advaita is widely misunderstood. Advaita is always followed with the word Vedanta. And Vedanta is the culmination of all the books, like the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita and all the books. You can take the Bible too. You can take them all and combine them all together and try to reduce it to what in the heck are they trying to teach? And that word could be reduced to Advaita. And the simplistic understanding of, well, it's non-duality, is missing the entire teaching of what they're trying to teach you. It is an incredibly complex compilation of writings and everything's in all those books and in all those Bibles, if you will, and everything. And to narrowly focus upon one minor issue or detail is missing the whole thing. Advaita is trying to teach you that not two does not mean one. It means, I can't say the word, because it means what the entire compilation of what everything is trying to teach you. That's what it means. Not two means there are acorns, there are dandelions, there are palm trees, there are cactuses. And when you take those and turn them into people, well, we're not people, but our essences, you've got demons, you've got angels, you've got Jesus, you've got Krishna, you've got all these things. Well, what are you? That's the whole issue. And no matter what you do, you're going to end up being what you are. Because see, when you started off your existence, you responded to the light of God. You were invisible to yourself, let alone to God and everybody else. And when you initially responded to the light of God, which is referred to loosely as the Big Bang. So when you responded to the light of God, you became existent. You became an essence that is on the path to creating itself, a seed, and they all look alike. When they first initially respond to the light of God, all they are is a speck that is reflecting the light of God. There's no way to distinguish the difference between them because they all look alike, because they all started from nothing. And when I say nothing, don't get me wrong, I don't mean nothing, I mean no thing. There's no way. It's invisible for all intent and purposes. So you grow and you grow and you grow and you grow. And at some point, you go, oh, I'm an oak tree. And when the concept of you don't have to do anything, well, let's take that to just me personally. You can relate it to yourself personally. So me personally, I don't have to do anything. So why am I making these videos? Certainly not for money, because first off, I find that incredibly vulgar to take money to teach spirituality. So I don't do it for money. I certainly don't do it because I get satisfaction from people watching it, because essentially nobody watches my videos. So why do I do it? Hell if I know. But it is what I am. It's what I do. And I wake up in the morning and I do what I do. I clean the house, I do this, I do that, I do my artwork, and I make videos. And I may do things in the future that I have totally unaware of at this point. But that's what I do. And is it easy? No, it's harder than hell to teach yourself to do things, especially when there's no seemingly reward. But that's what I do. So what do you do? If you are a lazy ass, then guess what? You wouldn't be watching this video right now. You would be doing something else. So, I guess that's what I'm talking about. Advaita is so incredibly misunderstood. Non-duality is so incredibly, woefully inadequate to express the meaning of Advaita that it is laughable when you listen to the explanation of what non-duality really is once you get a bigger, fuller picture of the puzzle that is being put together. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.